Hello and welcome to the Run Testers. My name's Nick and this is our full review of the Nike Vomero Plus. The Nike Vomero Plus is a max cushioned daily trainer that sits in the middle of Nike's Vomero lineup, which is their lineup of very cushioned shoes that are mostly designed for comfort and easy running, that kind of thing. It sits above the Vomero 18, it's a bit more expensive, but you have a lighter design with better midsole foams on the Vomero Plus, and beneath the Vomero Premium, which is going to be a truly ludicrous stack height and has all kinds of stuff going on, including some air zoom pods, lots of ZoomX foam in its midsole, and yeah, it's going to be a bit more expensive. The Vomero Plus itself is £155 and $180. It weighs in at exactly 300 grams or 10.6 ounces in my UK size 9, which is a US size 10. You've got a 10mm drop on the shoe with a stack height of 45mm at the heel, 35mm at the forefoot. In some ways, the Vomero Plus could be seen as the spiritual successor to the Nike Invincible line, which has now been co-opted into the Vomero line, in that you have got a full ZoomX midsole here, but you've got a much higher stack height than you had on the Invincible with the Vomero Plus. And the ride is a little bit different as well to the various Invincible models we had over the past few years. So it comes to design, you've got an engineered mesh upper. It's a pretty thick one around the forefoot, I would say. It almost feels like there's a double layer of fabric there. You've got a pretty thick tongue as well, lots of padding around the back of the shoe as well. This is an upper very much built for step-in comfort. It's been fine for me, but I think if you're running in hot conditions a lot, you might feel that this is a slightly hot shoe on the top of your foot there. You've got an internal heel counter at the back to add some stability, and your foot sits within quite deep sidewalls of foam at the back of the shoe, again to kind of cradle the foot and give it a bit more stability at the back of the shoe, because you've got a really high midsole stack on the Vomero Plus. It's all made from Nike's ZoomX foam, a very bouncy material that Nike does tweak a little bit between shoes, so it won't feel exactly the same as the ZoomX on something like the Pegasus Plus, which is a bit firmer and a bit different to Nike's racing shoes as well. But yeah, you've certainly got a pretty soft and bouncy foam here, and a lot of it. It's a really big stack height. It's a pretty wide shoe as well. It's not as flat out wide as some of the max cushion shoes on the market, but the Vomero Plus is wide enough to be pretty stable despite that high stack height. Then you've got a high abrasion rubber outsole with pretty full coverage on the bottom of the shoe actually. I'd say usually you get more exposed foam than this on running shoes these days, even with pretty cushioned models. So Nike's got a pretty full outsole there to give you a good durability, and the grip has been pretty good for me as well so far. When it comes to fit of the Nike Vomero Plus, it's been really good for me in my normal running shoe size. I am a UK 9, US 10 for all Nike shoes, and I get a good fit with the Vomero Plus. It's a good amount of room in the toe box, nice comfortable hold around the heel and midfoot. I haven't actually found the amount of padding you have on the shoe overbearing. Sometimes I get a bit annoyed when it's really overdone, the back of the shoe, but it still feels like there's a little bit of flexibility at the back there. It doesn't feel too stiff around my Achilles. The hold has been comfortable, and actually, unless it's really hot, I haven't really noticed the upper at all on a run. So yeah, comfortable upper, the fit's good for me. I'd stick to your normal size, same size I use across the Nike range. So I've done a lot of running in the Nike Vomero Plus over the past couple of weeks, been using it pretty much as my go-to daily trainer for every relaxed or even mildly fast run in that time, and I've done about 100k in it so far. Use it for a lot of easy runs, recovery runs, warm-ups and cool-downs, and also a few progression runs, moving from an easy to steady pace to see how it feels at faster paces at around the kind of 340 a k mark, just under 6 minute miling, something like that. I really, really like the Vomero Plus. I've got 2 reallys in there. That's how much I like it. This is not usually my kind of shoe. Like a big max cushion cruiser like this isn't usually to my taste. I tend to find them a bit heavy, a bit bulky, and I don't tend to get that much out of them because I've got quite a high cadence. I'm not the heaviest guy, and I don't necessarily feel I get a huge amount of rebound from the foams that maybe people who put a bit more force into the shoe are getting. But actually, I felt like the Vomero Plus has been really bouncy and fun on every run. The ride is really comfortable, but without being stodgy or sludgy or anything like that. You do sink into the foam, but you get a lot of energy return from it, and as a result, it's really great for ticking along at easy paces, but actually has a bit of versatility to it as well. So you also got this massive wedge of cushioning at the back of the shoe, and that does make for comfortable landings as a heel striker. It really feels like a shoe that is giving a lot of protection and comfort. Been marathon training whilst using the shoe, so using it for easy runs in between sessions and on tired legs, it feels fantastic. Lots of comfort, but then you are rolled pretty effectively through the length of the shoe onto the forefoot, and you get a nice amount of bounce back. So you're not just wading through soft foam at the back of the shoe. It's pretty responsive, and you tick over nicely, and it just creates a really smooth and enjoyable feel. And actually, that rocker on the shoe is more noticeable than I thought it would be. Usually with 10mm shoes and Nike shoes in general, especially ones in the Pegasus lineup, I get quite a slappy feeling coming through from the heel with a 10mm drop, but actually it's nicely smoothed out with the Vomero Plus. The soft foam you have at the back there, I think, makes it feel like a slightly lower drop shoe, and then the rocker pushes you through onto the toes without it kind of slapping through. So even when I was running fast in it, I never felt like I was getting that slappy feeling at all. What you do get when you run fast in it though is more bounce, like even more bounce. So it feels really good at easy paces and comfortable, but if you do start to put a bit more force into it, so that could be for a few reasons, whether you're a heavier runner than me, maybe you have a more forceful running style with more of a loping style that puts a bit more impact into the shoe, or for me when I'm running a bit faster, the bounce just grows and grows. Like, this is not going to bottom out. It's a very, very cushioned shoe with a big stack beneath you, so the more force you put in, the more rebound you get. And as I go through the gears on progression runs in this shoe, it really does come to life even more as I hit those slightly faster paces at the end, and it feels really good for them. Like, it doesn't feel like a big cushion shoe at that point. It feels a bit nimbler and has the bounce to make sustaining those kind of mild tempo efforts pretty comfortable. Like, it's not a shoe I consider like a flat out speedster. Like, I would always use this shoe in rotation with a faster shoe like a plated trainer, or even just a lightweight simple shoe for intervals, that kind of thing. But if you are a one shoe runner and you like a really cushioned option to do it, the Vomero Plus is a pretty strong option, I would say. And if you're a new runner who wants one shoe for everything, it's a really good option for that, because it is so good across quite a wide range of paces. It does bring to mind for me the early models of the Invincible. I didn't really like the Invincible 3. I found it a bit kind of tame and not that fun to run in, but the 1 and 2 were really fun to run in. They're probably a bit wobblier than the Vomero Plus. I do think Nike has made this more stable, and actually I prefer the ride of the Vomero Plus as a result. Maybe the early Invincibles are maybe slightly more fun, but they weren't as stable as this. I wasn't as confident taking them out all the time as I am with the Vomero Plus. Like, always happy to use the shoe. It's comfortable, it's stable, it's pretty versatile, it's nice and bouncy. Whereas the Invincible, I think, was a bit too wobbly at times if you're using it as kind of a recovery shoe. The Vomero Plus just feels like fantastic for those easy efforts with that extra stability, the higher stack without really adding much weight as well. So all round, a really good shoe, and durability is looking good so far. Like, 60 miles, 100k into the shoe is not a huge amount, but see no loss of bounce in the midsole, and the outsole is holding up very well as well, even with quite a lot of my runs being on some slightly light trails of gravelly bits that could wear it down a bit. I haven't seen anything like that, so I do think you're in for a lot of happy miles with the Vomero Plus. So I would say the Nike Vomero Plus is the best cushioned running shoe on the market for me. If you're really looking for a proper cushioned running shoe, one that is geared up for protection and comfort above all, either if you want that for all your runs or in a rotation alongside faster ones, the Vomero Plus is the one I pick from all the cushioned shoes out there, just because the ride is really good. It's fun, it's bouncy, it's pretty smooth, it's versatile, and just ticks all the boxes in what I would look for in a big max cushion shoe, in a way that lots of max cushion shoes haven't done for me. They've always said they're going to do all those things, and then they've actually just been a bit lifeless or dull or heavy or wooden or too wide or something like that, and the Vomero Plus has none of those negative qualities. I'm always really happy to pick it up and run. And in the UK, the price is also really quite good. It's cheaper than a lot of these premium cushioned options, things like the Nimbus, the Triumph, all those shoes. Like, in the UK, they've been subject to pretty stiff inflation, so the Vomero Plus is coming in cheaper than them while being a lot more fun to run in, I would say. In the US, it's more par for the course and actually a bit more expensive than some of those same models, so it is a bit more of a distinction, but I do think the ride is better than most of those shoes, and I would probably pay the extra if you are looking for a cushion cruiser for your runs. So, classic models it will go up against would be things like the Asics Gel Nimbus, the Saucony Triumph line, the Brooks Glycerin line, or Glycerin Max even. Every brand has these big, very cushioned shoes, and I think the Vomero Plus is the best of them because it has the same level of protection and comfort at the back of the shoe in particular, but then it gives you more bounce, more fun, a bit more versatility. It's not that heavy as well for such a big cushion shoe, so I just think it edges out all of them. Like, there are some that are a bit more competitive. Some like the Puma Magnify Nitro 3, I think, is a pretty competitive option. It's not as high a stack height as the Nike Vomero Plus, but it is a fair bit cheaper. You have got a pretty good foam in that midsole as well. I think it's a Puma foam in the Magnify Nitro 3. It doesn't have the same level of bounce and fun as the Nike, but it's a bit lighter. Another strong option that would be a fair bit cheaper actually than the Vomero Plus. I do prefer the ride of the Vomero Plus for pretty much any kind of run, but the Magnify Nitro would save you a bit of money if you are looking for a similar cushioned, pretty high performance shoe with a higher drop like this. I'd say if you are put off by the idea of it being a 10mm drop shoe and would prefer a more rocket option, the Brooks Glycerin Max is a really good cushion shoe. The foam in That is a bit firmer and less fun than the one, the Vomero Plus, but it is quite responsive, makes it a fairly versatile shoe as well. Pay a little bit more for the glycerin mats compared to the Vomero Plus, but that is another very good shoe if you do want that slightly more rockered, lower drop feel. I suppose some other shoes that some people might wonder how it compares to would be things like the Asics Mega Blast and Super Blast, which have similar stack heights, but are billed more as all-rounder shoes, really. They're super trainers rather than primarily focused on being cushion shoes like the Vomero Plus. They have even higher price tags. Their rides are a bit more aggressive and stiffer than the one on the Vomero Plus. They have very responsive foams that are a lot lighter than the Vomero Plus, and they are better all-round shoes if you're really considering how a shoe is going to perform at speed in particular. The Vomero Plus is the more comfortable and relaxed shoe for easy runs though, for sure, and the one I'd rather be in for chilled out long runs, that kind of thing, but you are getting a bit more speed from things like the Mega Blast and Super Blast. They sit in a slightly different category, despite the fact there are some similarities, and being big mega stacked shoes with super foams in the midsole, they are geared up a bit more for speed, whereas the Vomero Plus is all about delivering a very happy and comfortable ride on more relaxed paces, but does have that little extra gear if you are going to run at faster paces. So yeah, all round a really good shoe, one that will be sticking around my rotation for sure, picking up easy mileage, because it's just a shoe that makes me happy when I think I've got a run coming up. What shoe am I going to grab from the shoe bench? I remember I'm testing the Vomero Plus, it makes me smile, so that's always excellent when it comes to easy and long runs in particular. That's our review of the Nike Vomero Plus. Please do let us know what you think in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, ring the little bell, and we'll see you next time.